One of the best pieces of advice I got offered. Though I was frustrated because I thought I knew what I knew, it was so far over my head, it flew at the speed of light and just as bright. In hindsight, I was dim with it. The advice presented was just keep living life. I asked for advice, and if I didn't understand that what they were saying was right, they'd say to me, just keep living. And I'm like, you must be kidding. Sarcasm filled my speech. At that time, I didn't realize how far life could be from reach. I didn't understand my preacher's sermon. Felt like they was just telling me to stay black and die. I thought those was the only things that a real one had to do. I had to chew on it for. Wasn't catching their drift. Couldn't catch the gift of each breath, each beat inside chest, each moment of existence. I didn't know that I was gifted. Felt like I was just one of many, never catching the significance of self, never seeing that I'm one of many, yet there is only one me. Statistically, my existence less likely than hitting the lottery after getting struck by lightning, and here I am. It's frightening to those that opposed me being here before I got here. Correction, before my ancestors got me here. Brought me to fruition. When oppressors press for my demolition of all of this, all of me, so each day be a blessing. I don't feel the same way about things that moved me just yesterday. Today's never could be tomorrow's tomorrow. Today's never could be tomorrow's maybe, and next year's always. Because none of this is guaranteed. There are people who are not with us and they deserve to be. Flowers plucked mid-bloom, and we are the seeds that the sun let be, that the water let feed. You could be in need, and in the blink of an eye, it could all be different. But the only way you will see any of this come to fruition is you just keep living. Oh, yeah, snap. All right, now I'm going to bring up your creator, your curator, your beauty, and your brains behind this phenomenal event that has been going on every week for over 11 years. Please put your hands together, clap it up, and show some love for Energy!
Can y'all keep it going and clap it up for your host, Louis Confliction? And as you're clapping, I want you to clap for yourselves and know that you're the real MVPs, because some of y'all have been here since the show first started and have seen such incredible, amazing artistry tonight. I am always left with a cup that runs over, not just from incredible moments of amazing artistry, but we're friends, you know, great energy and vibes on vibes on vibes. On vibes, right? Yes, I get the privilege and honor of closing this out. And as y'all know, I've been challenging myself to write. I'm about there. Like when I say there, the goal was to write 50 to 100 pieces. And I feel like since last year, with 53 Tuesdays in a year, I'm definitely, I've hit my goal. Y'all can clap it up for that. I've hit my goal. I know, right? Now here's the challenging part. Remembering them. Because when you are reading and when you're doing a poem every week, a new poem every week, it is repetition that builds the memory. And so when I go to speak, I want to be able to give that energy and not have, to have a phone in my hand to read it or a book in my hand to read it. But one thing that's always important to me before we leave this space is to leave you with not just, all of this, but there's something special just for you. So hopefully something in this piece moves you. And yeah, this piece is called Take This With You. Before you leave and this night becomes a memory, before this mic cools off from the heat of the moment, before this room itself turns into ordinary, I need you to take this with you. Not just the rhymes and the reasons, not just the words and the weight that they carry. What we did here tonight was not just performance, but practice. Practice for the world that we keep saying that we want, but keep waking up too tired to do. It's easy to snap for truth in a room full of witnesses, much harder to live it. And when the world starts whispering you back into submission, when you step outside and the air feels different, and the system starts systeming, and the doubt starts whispering your name like it knows you, don't forget what you felt right here. That pulse, that power, that permission to be full and loud and unedited, to be you, that's yours. Not just tonight, but for life. Because they will try. Yes, they will try. Try to shrink you back into survival. Try to convince you that struggle is standard and that silence is safety and that settling is smart. They will remix oppression into something that sounds like, that's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. But we know better, don't we? We know that the way it is just a draft. And we are the editors of reality, the descendants of defiance, where Harriet didn't just dream freedom, she delivered it. Where Sojourner didn't just ask questions, she became the answer. Where Shirley, y'all know Shirley refused permission slips and Audre Lorde turned language into liberation scripts. So what does that make you? Don't get quiet now. What does that make you? A carrier, a catalyst, a living continuation of every woman who refused to fold, even when the world dealt her a losing hand. And yes, the world is still dealing dirty, still debating bodies, still taxing time, still paying women less and expecting them to cost less emotionally, mentally, spiritually, still asking for everything and calling it equal. But equality without equity is just a well-dressed imbalance. And we are done dressing wounds like they are fashion statements. So when you go home, don't just rest. Remember. And reckon with what you've accepted that you are no longer in agreement with. Reckon with the spaces that shrink you and the versions of yourself that learn to survive them. And then, I need you to decide to speak. And even when your voice shakes like it's remembering fear, decide to take up space like it's sacred because it is. Decide to honor your labor in the home, in the hustle, in the healing, like it's worthy of more than just endurance because you're not here to simply get through life. You are here to transform it. So just as a reminder that tonight, our theme is Women's History. What am I supposed to say? Is world history. There we go. Okay. So every choice you make is a line in this timeline, and every boundary you set